Welcome back everyone to some more League Racing content on F1 2020, and we are back. We have returned to AOR, the Apex Online Racing League. It's been a while, we've been away in PSGL along with ORL as well, doing two different leagues, of course, really strong leagues, by far the two strongest that I've ever taken part in, full of F1 esports drivers. And I have now returned to AOR, a league which I am the defending champion, and of course I didn't take part in the most recent season because I was racing a PSGL and ORL, so yeah, it's good to be back. And funny enough, it's this exact same track where I won my championship in the last season. So for the first time ever, I am a world champion in League Racing, and I am the new AOR F1 PC world champion. It's a big result, and yet another podium for us. Good memories of this circuit in Mexico, and yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Today we have a 13-car grid. There's this race and two more, I believe, so we're going to be seeing out the season as a reserve driver, so hopefully you guys look forward to that. A couple more league races coming your way before we wrap up on this game and move on to F1 2021. And the reason for this is because I felt like I had unfinished business. I still wanted to compete on this game. I feel like I'll still want to try and improve, before heading on to the new game, and I really want to maximize my pace. So yeah, I was really intrigued to do this. I spoke to the coordinators and the admins, and we got it done, and I was able to rejoin. So here we are then at Mexico, and you join me in qualifying. Now, if you guys want to see more of this content, then feel free to leave a like, subscribe for more, and I'll be sure to deliver that for you guys, especially on the new game. But we're here in qualifying, and this lap right here was my first run in a short qualifying session, and it ended up being my best lap of qualifying. So let's go on board for a full lap of Mexico, and let's see what happens. We're using Jan Otmir's time trial setup for this one as well, so a bit of an experimental one here to see how that goes. So down towards turn 1, braking at the 50-meter board, down to third gear and keep it there to get the rotation into turn 2, upshift on a kind of short shift for turn 3, and then bring the car straight over to the right hand side for the shortest run to end the first sector. Good first sector from us, actually, considering the grip levels, doing a low 6. Now into this left-right chicane, a little bit wide through the left, but we get a pretty good, actually, swing back to hit the apex of the right-hander, then into the double apex right hairpin, very nicely done, and getting some nice traction. Now into the S section, down 2 gears with a quick shift back up to 6th. Flat out through here, just a slight little confidence lift through here just to make sure the car stays stable. Yellow flag as a car lost it in the S's, so I wasn't quite able to take the shortest line to end the sector, so I lost about a 10th just because I couldn't bring the car to the left hand side through the exit. Now into the baseball stadium, keeping it nice and slow, nice and smooth through here, making sure we don't throw that lap away, and then out the final corner, bringing the car to the right hand side for the shortest run, and the first lap is going to be a 1:12.81, which is a very strong lap. My best lap in time trial was a 0.6, so to do that straight away with the low grip levels of the start of a short qualifying session, I was very happy with that. So we went on to the second run, and unfortunately on this one we actually got off to a bit of a ropey start. We invalidated our first lap. Luckily I had enough fuel, so we're gonna just literally turn the engine down, coast to keep minimal temperatures in the tyres, and try again. On the second lap, same issue as the first one, I just pushed a little bit too much, and I was actually overdriving the car. I didn't invalidate, but I just wasn't as fast this second run. I just didn't quite get it right, and I actually bailed into the pit lane because there's 4 minutes to go, so I'm going to quickly get a tyre change done and rejoin the track. Now on my final lap, I was down in the first sector, but we found a lot of time in the middle, and you can see here we're finding time constantly throughout the sector. I managed to keep the car absolutely flat out through there, and you can see that on the delta we gained quite a bit by keeping the car tight to the left. Now into the baseball stadium though, just trying to keep that momentum. We're now 10th up. As we go into the hairpin though, I make a bit of an error there. I just outbroke myself, didn't quite get the apex, and I lost the back end, and I lost the delta. So a bit of a shame because we found even more time at the final corner. So in the end, we didn't even improve, and it was a shame because, to be fair, I think there was an easy 2.5 tenths there, to be fair. Looking at the lap again, we was down in the first sector by about half a tenth, and then also we gained that half a tenth in the final corner as well. So yeah, I definitely think an easy 2.5 tenths. I do think a low 5 was possible, mid to low 5. But in the end, Jan Fehler is on pole position. We are on the front row, second place, And the championship leader, Lenny PNR, starts from P12. He can win the championship here today. So, yeah, pretty much this could be a passing of the crown from me to him. He's battling, I believe, Jan Fehler for the championship. So, we're in the thick of it here. And, you know, well and truly in the mix for the title. Overall, though, pretty chill P2. Pace is good. So, we're going to move into the race and see what happens. You join me at the end of the formation lap, and this is going to be a fun race. 36 laps ahead of us, and a chance of rain right at the very end of the race. So, yeah, formation lap done. Tyres in the sweet spot. Everyone in the top 10, of course, on the soft tyres, and it's going to be Jan Fehler P1, and we start from P2. So the lights are coming on. Target simple, really. Just try and get into the slipstream and see what happens. So 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go. We actually get a bit of an average start. But the cars behind didn't really get away that well either. Jan Fehler gets a flyer. He got a really good start. You can see behind everyone's trying to make moves here. We're just literally following the slipstream. And I'm going to brake super late into turn 1. And I mean extra late because I don't want nobody to dive bomb or hit me in the rear. So making sure that we secure that second place. And all we got to do now pretty much is follow Jan Fehler and wait for the DRS because I feel confident in my pace. You know, I do enjoy Mexico, and the setup that I'm using from Jan Otmir from Time Trial was actually surprisingly good and surprisingly stable, which is a big surprise. You know, when I use these league races, you know, F1 Esports driver setups, they're usually quite oversteery, but actually this one was very drivable, and if anything, slightly understeery. So yeah, I was confident about it. It felt good, and you can see now at the end of lap 2, we're actually starting to get a bit of a gap to P3 and beyond. So you can see behind F1 Racer, it's about 1 second. He's just about going to drop out of DRS range as DRS now gets enabled. We set a purple lap, improving slightly on Fehler's one. And all I'm doing right now is just working with Jan Fehler, trying to pull away from the rest of the pack. Simple as that. I'm not interested in any overtakes right this very moment. For now, it's all about just trying to pull away, push, and find the pace. But now, lap 3, you'll see here, Fehler has a bit of oversteer. And that was a bit of a sign that already he was starting to struggle with rear tyres, possibly with a bit of, you know, instability with the setup. So I knew that I had a bit more pace. Now you can see here, end of lap 4, the gap behind now, 2 seconds. So what I'm going to do is actually go for the move. I thought about it, you know, I was speaking with my chat on Twitch. And yeah, in the end we're going to go for the overtake because I felt like I had pace, I had plenty of ERS, you know, I didn't feel the need to use it. And even now that I'm P1, I'm not actually going to use ERS. I'm going to keep the battery charged up and just save it for when we need to get close to the pit stop window, because if we need to push, we can. So yeah, we're going to take the lead, and now we're going to try and set our own pace and our own lap times and see what happens. And fingers crossed we can try and maintain that rhythm. The target for this race is to do a medium stint on the second stint and then another stint on the softs at the end, because I managed to save a fresh set of soft tyres from qualifying for the final stint of the race. So at the end of lap 8, you can see we've got about a 1 second gap to Fehler, but he actually peels off into the pit lane. So just as I started to drop him out of the RS, he pit. We're going to pit the next lap. I wanted to extend my stint by 1 lap just in case. Because of the rain and also for my own strategy, it just makes it a lot easier for me to make it work. I get a BS warning for track limits, which obviously won't count. So we're still technically on 0 warnings. And yeah, we put the medium tyres on, standard 2.5 pit stop. And now the question is, are we going to rejoin ahead or behind Jan Fehler as we get off the limiter? Here we go then. Here he comes, I believe, and he's going to just be ahead of us. So yeah, he gets the undercut, fair enough. Not really too concerned. I knew I had a pace advantage, so we're just going to pretty much follow him, really. And yeah, we're going to try and get back within DRS. That's the first thing. So we're just outside of the 1 second window. But like I said before, I'm pretty confident in my pace. You know, 10 laps in. At this point, I was well and truly in the zone. I felt very comfortable. The setup was great. Car was great. And I had all the ingredients that I need to feel confident I'm going to get a race win. So at this stage, it was more a kind of like, let's say, a passive attack mode. So I'm just going to do my own pace. If I get close to Fehler and I want to pass him, then I will. But on lap 10, you can see there Fehler makes a mistake. He gets the X icon on his name, which means he has disconnected. So that wasn't his mistake, that was his AI during the disconnection making an error. We get confirmation of that. As you can see, migrating host, Fehler left the session. So very unfortunate for him, and a shame, because I was looking forward to a battle with him. You know, from last season as well, we had some good battles, and I wanted to continue that, but unfortunately it's not to be. And Jan's AI car is going to go backwards now. So yeah, we've got a car in the pit lane here, so we're going to move up to P6, and we're going to pretty much do our race now. So fresh medium's on. I know what I've got to do. We've got Lenny PNR, I believe, leading the race right now. He's also going for the alternate strategy, so medium to soft. And yeah, we're going to get to work on some pace. So straight away, purple lap, lap 12. End of lap 13, we catch up to these two guys. We've also got a car in the pit lane again, so we're going to gain another place. Now, to my surprise, these two are battling actually quite heavily. But as you'll see now, something happened that I did not expect, and I felt quite privileged in a way. I couldn't believe it, to be honest with you. But heading through 1, 2, and 3 on the exit, the Renault just pulls over and lets me by, and also the Racing Point does the exact same thing. And I couldn't believe it. I've never had that before, but pretty much it makes the job easy for us. So no need to overtake. They both go out of the way, and they're going to keep going with their battle. And yeah, job done. So another purple lap, heading on to lap 15, and you can see that we've got Lenny PNR out front, and we're going to try and cut down on that gap a little bit, because you know this is a crucial phase of the race now. Before he pits for the soft tyres, we need to try and get a bit closer. So yeah, we're going to see what happens pace-wise, but currently 15 laps in, we're looking pretty decent. Through the first couple of corners, though, unfortunately, I do get my first official real warning for cutting turn 2. End up 15 though, you can see the top 2 are in the pit lane, so we're going to take the race lead back, and we're going to see if we can, you know, run a good pace for the next few laps. You know, this is a critical phase of the race now, because Lenny's going to the soft tyre. And that was a big surprise, because I was expecting him to one-stop, you know, medium to hard, but he's going to gamble and go for the soft tyre in the hope that the rain is going to arrive soon. So that's a bit of a gamble from Lenny PNR to win the championship, and we'll see if that works out. You can see behind, he's about 13 seconds behind me now, so keep an eye on that gap as we progress over the next few laps. So lap 18, you can see he's actually going to set a new fastest lap and take it away from me, and he's already got the gap down to 10.8, so he's absolutely flying. Obviously my mediums now are about 10 laps old, so they're not exactly brand new, and he's got a big pace advantage right now.
Radar suggests some weather is going to hit in around 5 minutes time, so stay on your toes. Dries seem like the fastest tyre at the moment.
So I had to ask, because I expected Lenny to go for the hard tyre, he went for the soft. So that led me to ask on the radio for the weather forecast, and the rain was much closer than I expected. It wasn't even that close on the forecast, it was meant to be a lot later, but now lap 25, DRS disabled, the rain was starting to come down. I've got the particles turned off so that it doesn't impede my vision, which is something I learned from racing in PSGL, as it gives you a bit of an advantage. But you can see now Lenny's got a lot more grip. His soft tyres aren't fresh anymore, but the softs will always have more grip than mediums in these conditions where you're literally driving on ice. So yeah, we just had to hold on and keep him behind. He's put in a great shift, to be fair to him. You know, he's cut down the gap from 13 seconds to be on the back of us as we now head into the pits, and we're going to make the switch to the intermediates. Also, my tyres 68% on the left rear. I was pushing it a little bit on the tyre wear, to be fair, so the extra lap we did on the first stint was actually quite important in terms of making it in terms of tyre life. But we switched to the inters. Lenny is behind us, so luckily no positions or time lost in the pits, and we're going to reclaim our lead. So away we go, and it's going to be 10 laps to the finish. It's going to be a head-to-head between myself, the current, you know, defending champion, and Lenny PNR, the championship leader and soon to be new champion as it stands right now. So battle of the champions here, passing off the torch in many ways. It's going to be a good little battle, this one. You can see right now he's about 3-4 tenths behind me on lap 29, and I was pretty chill. You know, the pace of the inters was great. I was really comfortable. Car was working well, even with the setup again. Had no issues. I was just kind of judging his pace, and we actually get a second warning there, which gives me a 3-second time penalty, of course, if you include the first one, which was not exactly a proper warning. But yeah, right now I'm officially on 2 warnings, so I don't have a time penalty yet officially, whereas Lenny does. Either way, you can see now lap 32, I managed to pull out a gap. So after I got that penalty, shortly after, I looked at the pace and I was like, okay, you know what? I've given him a minute to see what he can do. He's not overtaken me, so I'm going to pull the pin. And that's exactly what I did. So I pulled out some pace, opened the gap about 1.8 seconds, and then eventually in the closing laps, Lenny closed it back down because, again, I was pretty comfortable. I was just bringing the car home. And yeah, last lap of the race, final corner, and our return to AOR is going to be a success as we pick up the W in Mexico in the race where we won the championship last season. And at the same time, Lenny PNR is now the new AOR World Champion. So a passing of the torch, passing of the crown, and yeah, the old champion wins the race ahead of the new champion. So job done for us here today. Very, very good day at the office and a successful return to AOR. And I can't lie, I felt very, very fast around here. You know, all the racing in PSGL and also ORL as well has really helped me, and I think I've got a lot quicker. My racecraft has improved a lot, and I'm determined to win the final 2 races. So let's hope we can go out on a high and really end the season strongly, and you know, end F1 2020 league racing with some wins. But guys, that is going to be it from me here today for this video, and AOR success. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll stream these races on Twitch, which I'll leave a link for down below. If you like the video, leave a like and subscribe for more. Let's try and smash over 1,000 likes, and any new subs would be massively appreciated, guys, heading into the new game. And finally, as always, shout out to the channel members for supporting the content. I really, really appreciate it. And as always, guys, if you haven't done so already, check out the 2 videos on screen right now. But that's it from me here today, guys, and I'll see you next time. Until then, take care, and it's goodbye from me.